What's up guys, Rising Duelist, Jay here, and today we're going to discuss a couple ideas on OTKs and more FTKs and the differences between them. What do you think, Chillfish?
Well, for those of you who don't know, I play like mermails and now I'm playing Shuttle Dino, so I do lean more towards the OTK side of things, but I do see where both can be extremely degenerate in certain contexts, but at the same time, I personally feel that OTKs are a little more understanding / forgiving than an FTK deck, but that's just me, partially because of Pendulum FTK that's running on right now, or Gemini FTK.
And then for those of you who do not know, I am currently playing Magicians, and I am playing the Magician FTK because I hate myself. So one thing to consider is like some small differences in regards to, you know, if you're trying to OTK your opponent, you want to go second. Obviously, if you're FTKing, you want to go first. What does that mean to the opponent?
FTKs, usually my experience with Magicians, they just want to burn you. Like they can go first with that one combo piece and there's no interruptions, they can just go, and it becomes kind of almost like a solitaire kind of deck thing in my experience. But I'd rather play FTK deck versus, you know, like Chicken Game Monarchs like 3 years ago. Remember that terrible nonsense? But anyway, I'd rather go that over that. But versus an OTK where it's more of, you're not really, you want to make a big board and go second and you want to run over your opponent. However, you have a chance, but they kind of we were mentioning earlier that FTKs, they have one turn to kind of get everything done, or they may have like 2 turns if you need some defensive maneuvers. OTKs are on a clock. The minute that you start playing an OTK deck, you want to get stuff as quickly and fast before your opponent out-resources you. Because usually, at least in my experience, the OTK decks that I play, their deck, the deck space is extremely tight, and they need all their combo pieces to work. However, versus an FTK deck, in my opinion, OTK decks are a little more flexible and they can kind of bounce back usually. So,
Yeah.
what do you think?
Well, it's strange because in the past, like I think Magician FTK is an outlier. First of all,
that's true.
Magician FTK is an OTK deck, FTK deck that has basically 3 extra things in the main deck and 1 extra thing in the extra deck. And if you don't draw those things, then you're fine. You just play the game as you normally would, which is Magicians, which is still arguably the best deck right now.
I would agree.
And then the difference between that and an OTK is you're trying to kill. Now, Magician FTK, like I said, that's an outlier. They're usually like, a perfect example is I used to play a lot of FTKs in the past.
Degenerate.
I used to play Ignite FTK. For those of you who do not know.
Did? Oh my gosh, I remember though. We were just barely like meeting, hanging out too at that time.
For those of you who don't remember, this is pre-master for Ignite FTK. All you needed was just 4 Ignite cards. Doesn't really matter what they are. It can be the spell. It can be like Summoner. What is it? Summoner's Art?
Summoner's Art.
You can Rerota anything that you have 4 Ignite cards in your hand. Then you have an FTK by going into what is it? The Phoenix Bird Fusion thing, the one that burns.
Oh yeah, Bombardment Phoenix.
Yeah.
One of the things.
You special summon that 3 times to hit for exactly 8,100. Now the difference between that and Magicians is that if you let's say Veiler, what's a good thing to Veiler? Probably the Beatrice. If you Veiler the Beatrice, then the play is done and it's over. And if you can just get rid of the Beatrice that turn, during your turn, like by any means necessary, you can just go Diamond Dyer, Gazelle, something, and then they're dead. Because they have no bounce back from that. Magician FTK is that outlier, and for that reason specifically, I don't want to talk too much about Magician FTK.
Okay.
Because they're.
I do agree with. Well, there's also like Infinity FTK, which was more. But maybe you were mentioning earlier that for the most part, FTK decks are burn based.
Yeah.
Versus OTK decks, which is I'm just going to overpower and run roughshod over you. Which, you know, 2 years ago we couldn't tell an OTK deck from the regular format because everybody was make a board and beat down over your opponent.
Yeah.
But I think it's partially why I don't like FTK decks, because it's really burning and it's really just, we've all been there on the other side of an FTK board like Infinity. I mean, I remember Infinity FTK where you're just sitting there going, can I play now? Can I play now? Can I play now? Versus an OTK deck, which I mentioned, I think is a little more flexible. You usually can have some synergy with that, or you can kind of a reaction in time playing. And I think OTK decks, you know, specifically the ones I play like Mermails or Shuttle Dinos, there's multiple ways to get what they need to, so they're a lot more flexible and they can manage the resources, but they are on a time. They have a very short amount of time because the longer you're playing, the less likely you're going to win, in my opinion. You want to create the big board fast and push your game. Versus the FTK deck where it's, okay, cool, do I have the pieces? Great, burn.
And then win.
And then win.
I think a huge difference is that you have more chance to win if you're playing against an OTK deck. Because I feel like
I would agree with you on that, absolutely. Because
I don't know if this is 100% true, but I think
let us know down below.
this is I'm stereotyping right now. Okay, this is my stereotype. I think people who play OTK based decks are people who they think they're all that.
I would definitely agree.
They think they're all that. They have the highest ego. People who play FTK decks are people who have a very low ego and want to feel better about themselves.
I definitely agree. I mean, you know me, and you guys have seen me. I don't really care that I win or lose. All about playing and having fun with the deck itself. But playing against people with both those things, yeah, there's an entitlement factor. If I play an FTK deck, I deserve to win. It's like, no, you don't. But an OTK deck, I'm a better player. It's like, not really. If you mean, it all depends. But
for example, with the OTK deck, you're like, build your board. I don't give a. I'm gonna break it. Yeah. I'm gonna kill you right now. I'm
gonna drop Winda, drop Conductor, and just go for game.
Yeah, and just go for that.
Or I'm gonna drop Mermail, I'm gonna drop Moon Glacier. I'm gonna drop Trico and do or totally awesome. Just go for it.
Yeah, it's just absolutely I think the biggest scrub OTK is Cyber Dragons.
Yes.
You're always gonna get those. That or Chaos Max Blue Eyes.
I will disagree, and I will say that Chaos Blue Max is definitely the more both those decks go align definitely with your stereotype of OTK decks. But I feel like Blue Eyes Max is just super harsh because it's kind of I'm sorry, we're gonna lose all our subscribers now to play Cyber Dragons and Blue Eyes. But
no, but they're like go ahead. I'm just gonna special summon a Cyber Dragon.
Eat for game, and then level eater, and then level remover, and honest, and just all these things just stack on top of each other.
That's fine. I'm just gonna OTK you. So they're a bit more like, what's up, bro?
They're ready for it. They're more interactive versus FTK deck where it's
just FTK is just like, you have interruption? Alright, we can just go to the next game. I won.
Yeah, just show me your hand. Here you go.
Yeah, I won. Look, do you have any eruption? No. All right, I win. I won.
There's one guy at our locals who played a FTK deck. I swear to God, that's exactly how he acts.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I used to do that too. I used to go to local. I stopped playing it because I don't like FTKs and I didn't like getting dirty looks. So I would just play. And people would ask me do you have it? And I would just reveal my entire hand. Do you have interruption? And again, this is Ignite FTK. So I'll be like, do you have interruption? Because if you do, we can just go to the next game. That's fine.
Sometimes you're playing FTK deck, you just might as well go. Yeah, let's go next game.
Yeah.
I want to go first. Let's go next game.
My matches were always so fast because I just revealed my hand and they'd be like, yeah, I don't have any interruption. Let's go to the next game. Or I do have interruption. I have these. At the time, it was just all right, I have Maxi and here's a Veiler. And they'd be like, all right, cool. I'm not gonna win this. Let's go to the next game. I think now it's even funny because with Magician FTK, it's like, oh, you still have interruption. That's fine. I'm just gonna do my regular Magician plays.
Yeah. One thing we mentioned too, it's better with Gem Knight FTK is that Gem Knight FTK is a super glass cannon. If you trip them up if you literally I'm hating FTK decks, but I love Gem Knight, so I'm really debating on that. But if you trip them up slightly, you stop one little play, whether it's the best play or even a minor play to get them going, they're like, we're done, we can't do anything.
Yeah.
And I also think that the difference between FTK and OTK in terms of the community is that FTK players definitely get more looked down on, and OTK is a little bit more, in a weird way, respected. Out of the two of them, both are kind of lower level, but out of the two, because I feel like, again, OTK decks, you were talking about the Magicians, I honestly feel like it's on the bubble because of the one hand you can do your other plays, where OTK decks okay, cool, if I'm playing Jadal Dinos, you still have my Predaplant engine, okay, cool, I'm gonna go to my Dino engine now. I have a toolbox of resources versus FTK deck where I need this one thing to work, or else we're done.
And Magicians are the outlier for that.
Absolutely. So that's why that's on. I feel like it's on more of the bubble than anything. But Gem Knight FTK or Infernity FTK, you stop that one play, and you get that one. It's Gem Knight's Brilliant Fusion negate. All done by scoop.
One thing I do want to bring up with you guys too, because I'm not sure. I'm going to ask Chillfish here right now. What is the difference between an FTK, let's say they just do their stuff, you have no interruption, they just kill you, versus say full power spirals or full powerful chalice, where they'll set up these 6 negates and you have 6 cards in hand. So they're just gonna be like, all right, I'll negate that one, next, negate that one, all right, next. Now you have no cards in hand, all right, cool, I'm just gonna kill you now. Now, because
I think the difference is though, an FTK is you're you are so combo dependent and everything is super tight focused in your deck space. Versus spirals though, where you're correct, but I don't think you're reactive. I think with spirals or like competitive Blue Eyes back a couple years ago, you had to have some traps or some sort of negation to be reactive to your opponent. FTK deck, you want to go big or go home. You're going for the gold raider.
A good example is World Challenge, specifically the one that won the YCS and Botham, something like that. I don't know how to pronounce that. I'm not just giving me one. So
he activated the race card now, folks.
His win condition was something like Saryuja, Firewall, Clothing, and then a Gamma-Seal. So he has the 2 bounce, he had the Herald, and he can activate the Firewall to add Eva back to hand and bounce one of your monsters to get the Herald back, so you can activate to search another Herald. So that Firewall alone was 3 negates, not to mention the Gamma-Seal, which would have 2 negates, and anytime a card is sent to the graveyard from the field, it would add more negates for the Gamma-Seal. So you set up these unbreakable boards, and it's kind of the same thing, that World Chalice is extremely fragile, and if they don't have all the combo pieces...
One effect Veiler, and if you do the effect at the right moment, their whole game's done.
Oh, also specifically, you're talking about a deck that relies a lot on vanillas. If you draw all those vanillas, it's like tough luck.
And their normal summon is so important. Like if you negate that thing. But I don't know, I guess I'll put in my 2 cents, but you guys let me know if I'm wrong, if you agree with me or disagree with me. But I think the difference is, again, the reactive state. FTK does not want to be reactive. They want to go for game. OTK is a little more reactive, but like Spirals or even Magician, Pendulum before the ban list were very much, vomit, or even like DDDs way back before Master Rule 4. Yeah. Vomit these boards, have some negations, go. That was more of a reactive kind of thing, and you go versus, vomit my board and then go for game. Because if you're playing an FTK or OTK deck, your trap lineup is not exactly that strong versus the other decks where you want to have some protection or cost. But what do you guys think?
Yeah, specifically, I'm going to make this one last point on that. Because FTKs are going to burn you in that one turn, and then if you're the people who want to build all those negates, and they can get more than 5 negates, and they can negate everything in your hand. What's the difference between the two? Because you're gonna lose no matter what. Obviously, if you don't have any interruption, you're gonna lose no matter what. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below.
Yeah,
what are the because I just thought of this right now. What is the difference between like someone? Oh, great, I'm just gonna sit
mentally
here.
play. Like when your mental game when you're playing. What is your mental state?
Yeah, because like with FTK, it's like, oh, I'm just gonna sit here and do nothing, and then I'm gonna lose. But then if they're building an unbreakable board, you're just gonna be like, oh, I'm just gonna sit here and do nothing until they're literally done, and I still can't do anything because they have all these negates. So that's just one thing I did want to bring up. What do you guys think about that?
I like that. Yeah, let us know down below. Comment, subscribe, share the video if you guys like it. Let us know. He's constantly looking at the YouTube channel, going, okay, what people are commenting. What do you want? We are listening. I've heard you, Cyber's player. I am making my thoughts on video. I promise. I'm sorry. I've had a very rough few weeks. And those of you who didn't see, may I know something? Those of you who didn't see the last video we posted yesterday, which was hilarious, by the way. I am engaged now, so that's been kind of on my plate the last week and a half. So forgive me, guys, but I hear you. But please let us know, comment, subscribe, and we'll catch you on the next time.